Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast Special Edition Series, where I preview and predict every men's college basketball conference tournament. This is the 30th of 31 podcasts in the series, and the podcast I am doing at the moment is the Western Athletic Conference, and all tournament games will be played at the Orleans Arena in Paradise, Nevada. The tournament will begin tomorrow, which is Wednesday, March 10th, the semifinals Friday, March 12th, and the championship Friday, Saturday, March 13th. So, without further ado, here we go. 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 4:30 p.m. Pacific Time, Wednesday, March 10th, which is tomorrow. 5-seeded Seattle against 4-seeded Cal Baptist. Seattle 11-10 on the year, 4-5 in conference play. Cal Baptist 13-9 on the year, 6-6 in conference play. My projection here is Cal Baptist by 2, total 148. Therefore, I have Cal Baptist into the semifinal. In the second of two quarterfinal matches, 11 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, 8 o'clock p.m. Pacific, 6-seeded Texas Rio Grande Valley against 3-seeded New Mexico State. Texas Rio Grande Valley, 9-9 on the year, 2-5 in conference play. New Mexico State, 10-7 on the year, 7-6 in conference play. My projection is New Mexico State by 8, total of 135. Therefore, New Mexico State into the semifinals. Semifinals, Friday, March 12th. 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, 5 o'clock p.m. Pacific. 4-seeded Cal Baptist against 1-seeded Grand Canyon. Grand Canyon on the year, 15-6 overall, 9-3 in conference play. My projection is Grand Canyon by 7.5. Again, future totals are harder to project than future lines. As Grand Canyon I have into the championship. And the second of two semifinal games on Friday, March 12th, 11 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. 3-seeded New Mexico State and 2-seeded Utah Valley. This is going to be an interesting game. I think these two teams are pretty good. Utah Valley has been, I think, a pleasant surprise this year. Meanwhile, New Mexico State, I think, has been a disappointment. Although they had a big COVID pause, that's what I think really set that team back. They have a good little group, Jabari Rice and Donnie Tillman and Johnny McCants. And on the other side of Utah Valley, they have a very balanced lineup. Jamison Overton, Trey Woodbury, and Fardaws Meek. And they also have Evan Cole as well. My projection here is actually New Mexico State by 1. So I actually have New Mexico State into the championship. I think they have a real chance here because of their experience from the past, and they've been in some big games before. And the Western Athletic Conference Final, Saturday, March 13th, 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern, 7 o'clock p.m. Pacific on ESPNU. 3-seeded New Mexico State and 1-seeded Grand Canyon. And oh, by the way, Utah Valley on the year, 11-10 overall, 9-4 in conference play. I just forgot to mention that. I talked about New Mexico State's roster a little bit. Grand Canyon, I think, is a very, very dangerous team. They're deep too. They have a good big man in Asbjorn Vijard and another good big man in Alessandro Lever and a good guard in Jovan Blackshear Jr. Very deep on both sides. My projection is Grand Canyon by 3, so therefore my pick to win the WAC, the Western Athletic Conference Tournament, is Grand Canyon, as they will be the auto bid for the WAC. And no, I do not think they'll be an at-large team if they lose. They lose in this tournament. Alrighty, so the next podcast is the last one of the series, and that is going to be the MEAC, which is the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference.